Hi all. I said during the summer that after the transfer window, I would do bits about inside football, football insights that aren't Arsenal specific, but they are relatable to Arsenal and all of football. Really, just trying to give an insight into what happens day to day in a football club or how certain things are viewed from inside the clubs. This piece is so relevant to Arsenal at the moment. I can't believe it didn't come to my head sooner because it's a story that I heard a long, long time ago. But it can be related to pretty much everything Arsenal are going through at the moment. So I want to talk about the media and how important they are to football clubs and what part they play, really. So obviously the main thing is football clubs have certain journalists, I say in their pocket, that they tell them what to write and produce or tweet, and they do it. Sometimes they're known as mouthpieces. Sometimes they're known as things that aren't as pleasant. But that's not really what I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about the negative influence of the media and how this can be controlled. To highlight this is a story a PR guy told me a few years ago. He was a West Ham fan, and God knows how he managed. He was sitting down talking to Alan Pardew when Pardew was West Ham manager, and Alan Pardew said to him, "We just get such negative press." He said, "I believe that if the press were nicer to us, I could get this team into Europe. I really believe that." And he said it's just so negative that the fans read negative things before they come into the ground. They're already in a negative mood before they play. Then for that, because they're negative, they're not giving the players the support that they're used to. Obviously, this was still when West Ham were at Upton Park. He's like, the support is worse. And he said it's not so much the fans' fault, but they've got this negative mindset coming in because it's all they're reading all day is negativity, or all week leading up to the game. This was before the time of Twitter. Really, Facebook was about, but it wasn't used as a news source. It was just where people post pictures of their kids going back to school and whatnot. So this was aimed at the mainstream media rather than social media. But he's saying, yeah, it's just I can't do anything with this. He's like, the negativity goes from the papers to the stands to the pitch, and before you know it, the players are believing they're not good enough. And he said, I know this team is good enough. I just need them to believe it, and the media the first thing. So this PR guy said, obviously he's a West Ham fan, so he wanted to get his team into Europe as much as anyone else. So he said, "Okay, I'll take on the job for free. Just being a West Ham fan, I will work as a PR agent for West Ham United." So Pardew, obviously, he wouldn't say no. He's getting what he wanted, and he gets it for free. There was a bonus if the job was reached. Anyway, fast forward 9 months. West Ham United won an FA Cup semi-final. I can't remember who they beat. And this PR guy was sitting in the players were still out on the pitch celebrating, and this PR guy was sitting in the dressing room with Alan Pardew, and Pardew said, "I told you, we've done it. You've changed our PR around. The place is a more positive place. The fans are more positive. The players are more positive." And obviously, due to them getting to the FA Cup final, they were guaranteed to be in Europe because they were playing Liverpool, who were already in Europe. They obviously went on to lose that final, but they got into Europe nonetheless. How this relates to Arsenal is, I always hear when people are being so negative, it's, they're on 100 grand a week, they're on this much, they earn more in a week than I earn in a year. They shouldn't be affected by this negativity. They're humans. Everyone's affected by negativity. It don't matter how much you earn. I mean, a key example is probably Donald Trump. He's probably the most powerful man in the world, and the negativity gets to him. It clearly does. He retaliates all the time. This is where I'm stuck with Arsenal at the moment. Everything is so negative. The media are very negative. Again, that leads to the fans. The fans on social media are largely very negative. I'm not saying this is without reason. I'm just saying that it does transcend down to the pitch, because so the fans on social media are negative, which are largely, a lot of them fans then go to the games. So if you walk into the stadium negative, and I'm as guilty as anyone else, I do a lot of the time walk into the stadium very negative. That turns into, one, all the players are reading social media. Believe me, they do. They might not run their own accounts, but believe me, they read social media. So they read social media. If they read the national press, which is a bit 50-50, some do, some don't, then there's negativity in the stands. It is going to turn out on the pitch as soon as something goes wrong, as soon as the groans start when someone overhits a cross or misplaces a pass. It all goes back in their head that, this is negative, we're no good, the papers have told me we're no good, now I've misplaced a 2-yard pass, I'm obviously no good, the papers are obviously right. I don't know a way to change this. I don't know how to make the club more positive. It is difficult because we are in a quite a negative moment, but it really does impact what goes on the pitch. And the West Ham story, which is 100% true, shows that even the players and the managers believe that with a positive vibe, so to speak, better things will happen. Another story, which is quite similar, but to show the power of the media. Vincent Kompany, obviously Man City captain, regardless of how bad he plays, is never criticised, or if he is criticised, it's not to the level of another defender who makes a similar level of mistake. The reason for that is because he is more than happy to go on when he's injured. He's always on Match of the Day as a panellist, or he was a couple of years ago. He's always the first one to come out and do interviews. So he's got the media in his pocket, in a sense, because they know if they start slating him, then he stops doing their shows. And obviously it's a big pull to have the captain of either the ex-Premier League champions or one of the biggest the biggest contenders in England anyway, on your show. So Kompany will never get hammered, and as an extension of that, City will never get the criticism that they should, or at the same level as another club, because of what Vincent Kompany is willing to do. So that's just one way that they promote positivity, by allowing access to one of their players or their key player. I'm not saying Arsenal should do that, and I don't know if there's a way that they could, but especially with the heavy Arsenal representative in the media anyway, or ex-Arsenal representative in the media anyway. But there's two examples of one, how negativity in the media really does affect the players, the playing squad, and the whole club. And then obviously the Kompany is an example of how another club has got around it, in a sense. I said the story just came to me. I just remembered it when I've been reading all the social media posts recently, and I thought I'd pull it out there. There will be a few more in this series of insights into football and how things are viewed behind the scenes, but I just thought I'd put this one out there, and hopefully we can breed some positivity. I know this is one small account, and I'm not saying that everyone's going to read this and go into the next game all positive that we're going to win the league, but hopefully as a fan base we can get back to going to support Arsenal and being the 12th man rather than being on the players' backs. Anyway, thanks for listening. Please share and retweet this, like it, etc., etc. Obviously the more viewers we get, the more positivity hopefully we can spread, and hopefully that can, if that helps the team to just 1 more point a season, it's worth it. Obviously 1 more point last season would have ended up in Champions League football. Let's get this spread, and let's try and spread some positivity, even if, to be honest, at the moment there's not much to be positive about. Thanks for listening.